Hello, sacred souls. It's Susanna from Alemannic Shaman. What I have here for us tonight is healing from the wounding of blame shifting and counterattacking of an entitled narcissist in response to boundary setting. So, I actually just had a situation happen at the drugstore where I was at the self checkout and I hadn't realized that a man with a dog had shown up next at the self-checkout next to me. I was so in my own little world, just focused on, the payment checkout, that I didn't realize they were there. And suddenly the dog's snout touched my leg, and I was wearing a summer dress, so it just really startled me to be actually more tickled than anything else. But it startled me, and I said, "Can you please keep your dog away from me?" And the man said, "Oh, he's friendly." And I was, "But you're the owner, you're responsible. Please keep your dog away from me." And then he went straight into the whole blame shifting and counterattack mode of an entitled narcissist, where he started accusing me of, "Oh, you reek of not having had sex in a long time. That's why you're reacting like this," and blah blah blah, right? Completely shifting away from the fact that he's not supposed to enter a store with a non-service dog. The dog was simply his pet, and he wasn't supposed to bring it into the store. And while in the store, unallowed, he should have kept the dog close to him. Now, the thing is, normally I love dogs, and normally I actually pet dogs, but there was just something about his instant reaction that didn't sit right with me, which is why I asked him to keep the dog away, right? Because he was just completely ignoring the fact that I wanted my space, and just that complete obliviousness to taking responsibility for his pet. And I had a similar, not quite similar, but somewhat similar situation with another pet owner last week, where the dog owner was equally dismissive when the dog almost peed on my bag, which was leaning against a tree. And when I said, "Excuse me," like, I was lucky that another girl quickly pulled it away. And I said, "Can you please watch your dog?" Because he was turned away and he just didn't. And he was completely dismissive, right? So it's this entitlement and absolutely not taking responsibility for the pet that they own, but instead getting either verbally aggressive or counterattacking, like verbally, right? Or blame shifting, like anything along those lines. That is a classic response of a narcissist, sociopath, or psychopath. And in my situation, that's exactly what my brother used to do. Whenever it was a woman who set boundaries with him, I mean, he always had an issue with people setting boundaries, but when it was a woman, he always said, "Oh, she just didn't get laid. She needs to get laid. Like, she's just, unsatisfied and miserable." Rather than actually taking someone's concern seriously, it was always dismissed, right? So that's what we're healing here. And even though it may not in every situation be referred to as a sexual thing, using Freud as an excuse for, them not taking responsibility, for quite a few of us women, that is a wound that was often perpetrated by men. For example, let's say if you bring up any concern during the period, "Oh, she's just menstrual. Don't take it seriously," right? It just gets brushed off and dismissed. Or, "Oh, she's just PMSing," or, anything that can be related to hormones is basically an easy excuse to just dismiss the boundary setting and the concern that the other person has, right? So this is quite a common theme in the female population, it's quite a wounding. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't something equivalent in the male population, right? That women, or also just anyone, right, is dismissive and counterattacks and so on. I'm just using the orange bowl to heal from the dismissive excuse and counterattack of relating it to sexual frustration rather than actually taking the concern seriously, right? So, and in my case, that is a wound that I have, well, through observation mainly. Like my brother didn't direct it directly at me, but whenever there was a woman, and regardless of the situation, that's what he would say. So it kind of stuck in my mind, right? Even though I didn't want to accept it and didn't want to take it in, but sometimes there is subconscious programming that we take on even if we don't want to take it on. It still somehow gets in there if it gets repeated enough times and we observe it again and again and again, right? So this is going to be stronger for those who have the same kind of wounding where stuff gets dismissed as a sexual or female hormonal thing rather than actually being taken seriously. But again, it also applies to other people just being dismissed and not being taken seriously. All right, with that being said, let me light the sage, and then I forgot to explain that. So speaking up is a big part of taking our power back and setting boundaries, right? So I found this really wonderful blue candle that I felt represented beautifully leveling up, right? So we're like moving up layer by layer, level by level, and getting better and improving in speaking up, in boundary setting, in verbalizing what we're not okay with, right? So let me actually light this now, since I do have to light the sage anyway. And I did choose the blue plate again with the sacral geometry here all around, which is actually also in this one, but I'm sacrificing this. It's the only thing that I feel properly represents the type of wounding that is a low dig on sexual and sensual attacks. I don't know if attack is quite the right word, but you know what I mean. It doesn't always have to be quite that strong, but it's that shifting of the focus away from the perpetrator, right? Okay. Oh, and before I forget, sorry, actually, let me take a moment here. We actually currently have wildfires going on in Ontario, in Canada here. And there are also fire bans in most of the parts of Ontario, and Toronto has been in a cloud of sort of like beige, almost yellowish kind of a sky from all the smoke. And when I stepped out, I actually love the smell of fire smoke. So it always reminds me of bonfires and fire ceremonies. So I actually, despite my asthma, enjoyed the smell, and I don't get triggered by that. I get triggered by chemical smells, right? So the natural smells are actually fine for me. But I know that some other people have issues with it. So, and regardless of that, I decided to cancel the fire ceremony that was scheduled for tomorrow. And since I had postponed it from last week when we had a lot of heat, I will schedule a new one for August, but my apologies, there won't be one in July. It seems like the Universe didn't want this one to happen. But I did schedule a virtual one for July 26th, and then already the next one for August, the 23rd. In August, we have 5 Sundays, so it'll be on the 4th Sunday, which is actually basically 3 weeks into August, right? So at least we'll have those, and hopefully many of you want to join. It is interactive. We will have a little candle flame to represent the fire. And yeah, other than that, please remember to like, share, and subscribe if this video resonated with you. And now let's jump right in. I'm going to reburn this a little bit more. Okay, please cleanse, clear, and renew all of our energies and take away anything dark, low vibrational, and unhealed, and transmute it into pure divine essence and return it to the universe for reintegration, and help us fully and completely reconnect to our own inner divinity as well as that all around us, and through that help us be in oneness with all of creation. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations. Thank you. All right, let us take a moment to give thanks and express our gratitude for the blessings in our lives today. I want to express my gratitude for living in a very safe place where I don't have to directly worry about wildfires, since I am pretty much in the middle of the city, even though we have green spaces here. Actually, Toronto has lots of them. We have lots of city parks, but still there is no immediate worry about a wildfire directly being here. However, the smoke still affected the entire city. It sits on top of the city like smog. But oh yes, and I'm also very, very grateful that I'm perfectly healthy and well in this smoke-filled air, since it is a natural fire, right? So I'm also very grateful for that. And I hope that anyone who has had a physical reaction to that smoke has recovered or is in the process of recovering, that they all got the proper help that they needed quickly. And yeah, that everyone is okay. Okay, with that being said, let us give our gratitude also for all the different steps on our healing journey that help and assist us in moving through various types of trauma that come up bit by bit. As we heal from one, the next one pops up. So it might seem like a never-ending path, but that's not actually the case. Once we've healed enough, then we are moving into the energies of oneness, and we have access to that higher divine wisdom and those energies, right? By the way, if anyone has seen the movie A Pilgrim's Journey, that actually shows the ascension process quite beautifully, I think. It puts it into a story. And if you haven't seen it, you might want to check it out if you're interested in watching something like that. There are, I think, several versions of it on YouTube. I just rewatched one of them recently. So yeah, it shows how even if you stray off the path, you can simply return to it and then continue, right? So it's not like you're lost just if you didn't do everything perfectly in a specific moment, right? Which is also very beautiful and reassuring. And with that being said, I want to give thanks for this beautiful blue candle that helps us level up step by step, bit by bit, and helps us more and more disconnect emotionally from everything that goes on around us, and simply see it as something that shows us wounding that we haven't healed yet, So, for example, in the situation today that I described earlier, there was wounding from my childhood in regards to my brother, right? And how dismissive he was whenever trying to set a boundary. That was shown to me again. And it was also actually that same kind of dismissiveness I experienced in my first marriage when, you know, the typical excuse of, oh, you're PMSing or you're on your period, you're menstruating, and that's why you're reacting like this, rather than actually being taken seriously for the concern, right? So thank you for showing me this wounding that now needs to be healed. And for anyone else who has had that kind of dismissiveness and not being taken seriously with the concerns and the feelings that we have within us when, you know, when we set a boundary and when we feel someone doesn't respect our boundary, let all of these blockages that have, and that what feels like black magic, but it's actually an intergenerational, well, quote unquote curse, but it's really like the intergenerational trauma that gets passed down from generation to generation. And remember, trauma can also be passed down through the DNA. So all that trauma of being dismissed and not taken seriously and not being allowed by the abusive person to set boundaries, well, to not have that person accept boundaries. And even if you try to set them again and again and again, they will be dismissed and disregarded again and again and again. And that causes, especially over time, such strong wounding in the sacral chakra, where it affects our creativity, our ability to be in the flow and be in that love energy that is divine. So with that being said, let all this toxic abuse that we've carried around with us now and forever be broken. Oh, I felt that. Wow. Give me a second. I feel like that massively released something in our throat as well. It's like that suffocation of not being able to speak, to verbally express what you need to express, because you're being silenced, you're being shut down. That is now released. Whew. Oh, I have a whole bunch of small pieces all scattered around the floor. I'm gonna pick them up later. I think that's fine for now. The important thing is, you can see it's all in pieces, right? So it is now and forever broken, and we shall be healed physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, energetically, karmically, and in any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime and moving forward. And let our entire lineages be healed from this toxic abuse, from this horrible dismissiveness of not being taken seriously. And so it is. Thank you. Dankeschön, all my relations. And we shall now be able to properly speak up and voice our opinions, voice whatever it is that we feel strongly about, and that we can properly voice and set our boundaries and have them properly respected. And so it is. Thank you. Dankeschön, all my relations. Ah. excuse me. Oh, sorry, I had to yawn. Whew. What's interesting is here's a tiny little splinter of... Oh, that's from the blue plate. Oh, yeah. So there's a little bit of a chip in the throat chakra because our voice was damaged as well, right? So, wow. And it's amazing that I picked up exactly that piece. And the amazing thing is, it looked like a mini soap when I looked at it on the floor. So there you go. It's like cleaning. We're cleaning up this mess. Oh, and that goes well together with what happened yesterday, where I used a public washroom and the man in front of me did a massive number 2, and like there was enough of a mess also around it that it was really gross. And since I really had to go and the other washroom was still occupied, I simply flushed it down and, pretty much held my breath and just dealt with it so that I could, use it myself. But that also says exactly that. It's like cleaning up someone else's SHIT, right? That was dumped in our lives. And we're now flushing it out. So it's coming out, we're releasing it, and slowly but surely, bit by bit, all the different aspects are coming out. And it feels like today was really a continuation of yesterday's dark stuff that we disconnected from. So it came up so that that part could also be released. Okay. There are a bunch more pieces down there, but I think I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Let us take a deep breath in, breathing in that pure divine light. And let us breathe out any and all anger, hate, and resentment towards all those people that were just insanely dismissive because they couldn't take responsibility for their own actions. And they felt so entitled that they thought they could just completely disregard our boundaries, right? So once more, let us take a deep breath in, breathing in pure divine essence. And let us exhale all anger, hate, resentment, and other dark emotions towards those people and situations. And let us let go of also forgiving. Let us forgive ourselves as well for not having been able to handle those situations better in the past, for not having been strong and secure enough within ourselves to simply walk away from those kind of people. And so many of us have, in the meantime, walked away from those people. And sometimes that requires cutting off our entire families. Sometimes it just requires some of the family members and walking away from jobs and other situations, maybe ending friendships and so on, right? So many of us who are on the path, we have to leave a lot behind. But what we are receiving is a lot of divine support, and we're improving and improving and improving until we're finally so healed that we can easily love ourselves despite all the stuff that comes at us from the outside. And through that, we can be in oneness with all of creation. And so it is. Thank you. Dankeschön, all my relations. All right, everyone, let us now give massive amounts of love, thanks, gratitude, and blessings to our divine team. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for all your help, guidance, and protection with this healing. Please open the circle of protection around us, but keep us strongly and massively safe, shielded, and protected at all times. Once again, thank you, thank you, thank you. And please keep us strongly and massively safe, shielded, and protected at all times with a divine seal of protection. And so it is. Thank you. Dankeschön. All my relations, all our relations. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, for being a part of this ceremony, and for being on your own healing and ascension journey. I so very much appreciate you being here. And just a quick reminder, if you could please like, share, and subscribe to support my channel. I totally appreciate it. And please leave a comment down below as well, how you experienced it. I love reading your comments. And also, if you want to support the channel further, there's a PayPal link down below. And if you want to participate in the virtual shamanic healing ceremony, that's very interactive. And again, there's a candle flame to represent fire, just like here. I would love to have you there. All the information is on both the Alemannic Shaman Facebook page as well as on meetup.com under the group name Shamanic Fire Ceremonies. And you will actually log in through meetup.com simply because it's easier for me this way. So yeah, I appreciate you being flexible that way. And in the meantime, I'm sending you tons of love, light, and blessings. Be well until next time, and I wish you great abundance. May truth and integrity always be with you. Bye for now.